Hi. Today I'd like to read you part of my book coming up. Please don't give me something more to worry about. It is still in the publication process, but I thought I'd give you sort of a preview, I guess, or a pre-hear or a pre-read. So this is from part 2, entitled Meeting the Dragon, and it's chapter 7. Not a long chapter. Chapter seven's title is To Be Strong. You're so strong, people would say to me. I read somewhere that behind every strong person is a set of circumstances that gave them no choice. I never really knew what to say to folks in reply, so I think mostly I just smiled. What they didn't know was I didn't want to be strong. I really just wanted my mommy. In truth, what I wanted was the ideal mummy, somebody to hug me, smooth my forehead, dry my eyes, and tell me everything was going to be all right. But really, what I needed was more practical help, someone to help me sort through the realities of the situation and the grief I was experiencing, someone to be a sounding board, a helper. I hear many grievers say that other people compliment them on their strength. So far, I haven't heard anyone say that it's helpful. Those who offer this observation are trying to be supportive and recognize our ability to move forward in tough circumstances. True, we could just stay in bed. We could simply rely on others to take care of life for us. But that's not the reality for 99% of grievers. The sort of support that is truly helpful is simply to sit alongside the griever and listen. Just listen with kindness. Acknowledge the devastating event with which the griever is struggling. Let them express their feelings. It might be anger, it might be sadness. They may express regret about their last conversation or actions they took before the major event occurred or after it occurred. They may blame others for their loss. Anything is fair game. The listener's job is just to be there without comment, without judgment. It can be hard not to comment or try to comfort the griever. Just remember that no matter what you say, it may not land for them the way you anticipate. It may distract them, or it may have even a negative response. Grievers often don't even know what is right for them at any given moment. They might say no in one instance and yes the next. In the years following his stroke, my husband and I went everywhere we could together. I always treated him with kindness and respect. People noticed. I remember a couple of instances where someone complimented me on how I was caring for Grant. I was taken by surprise, puzzled. The first time I received this compliment, I replied, "Thank you for the compliment. What else would I do for someone I love?" "Oh, you'd be surprised," one person said. "I've seen families torn apart by having to care for someone who is suddenly dependent." Since then, I've heard stories of alienation and animosity that shock and sadden me. For example, I've heard many stories about one person taking on the responsibility of caring for a dependent family member, while others distance themselves and even become adversarial. This too is a source of grief. Whether we recognize it or not, we're grieving the loss of the status quo in the family. It adds up to the stress of becoming a home caregiver. I did attend a weekly home caregivers support group for a while. Listening to the experiences of other family caregivers, I knew that caregiving I was doing was nothing compared to many others. They were on alert 24/7 with erratic behaviors of their family member. Some provided intense physical support to a bedridden person. These caregivers were persisting, even though the emotional and physical toll on them was tremendous. If they could find support for even half a day, it was not nearly enough. Their ability to take care of their own needs was severely limited by the needs of their family member. It was heartbreaking to witness their struggles. They did this job partly because of the limitations of the healthcare system, but because this was the person they loved. Thank you for listening. Please like this video, share it, because you never know who needs to or wants to hear this message. Grief is a universal experience, and sometimes caring for a loved one in that process is it's a very common experience. Please subscribe and donate if you can. The more you can do to spread the word of grief and grieving and my book, which is coming out, that would be a real benefit to me, of course, and to the community. Thank you so much.